NEDBANK Cup. Dynamic. Exhilarating. The NEDBANK Cup. Gion. The NEDBANK Cup. The one.
So good afternoon and welcome to the Rand Stadium. We're in Johannesburg for the officially the third fixture of the 2012 NEDBANK Cup. It's a round of 32 action here in Johannesburg with the brightly lit orange-clad Witbank Spurs. The away team today is Mpumalanga Black Aces, who've now moved their home base from Emalahleni to the Rand Stadium here in Johannesburg, hosting the fixture. And it's going to be one of these two sides who walk away disappointed come the end of the day. We already saw the start of the NEDBANK Cup last night with Johannesburg United walking away 2-0 victors over Bloemfontein Celtic after extra time, a match that certainly Clifford Mpumalanga will feel a little disappointed by after missing out numerous opportunities for Celtic. Eventually his side down in extra time by 2 late goals, including one from Sibisi. Mbeni scoring the other, but right now it's all about the two national first division sides going head to head. A Black Aces lineup that is missing a couple of key players from the season, the likes of Lubelo and Bengo being rested for today, their yellow cards being overseen by Coach Zapata as being more important to league fixtures rather than risk them in the cup ties. And he's still got a very strong squad in terms of players with great experience. For Spurs, though, not a great deal of experience, although Tabang Roy, a man who played in the final in 2008 for Black Aces, he's in the side. Mbayiwa brothers, or the twins, I should say, Peter and Patrick, always key players, but look up front for Dumisani Kamere, who's on fire. The match officials led by the young man from Mtata, Kulisande Kongo, while Winful and Desani, two young men from Cape Town, will be your assistants.
They refuse and you don't know, but you have reported that one, eh? Okay. Yeah. FIFA. Come again? FIFA. Anyone? Yeah, you are FIFA. Yeah, no, not blue. FIFA blue. Yeah. No, it's him. You're saying FIFA blue? Yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay. You win the toss? Okay.
So Aces have won the toss. That means Spurs will kick off in this away fixture. Alongside me for this afternoon's game, though, is Joe Hoodler.
Last 32 NEDBANK Cup la Rand Stadium spegela formation la ukuthi imikanjani iAces la idlala khona ke i4-3-3 lasibona uKoketso edlala lapha na ku central position. Kanti ke mawubheka ke la iWitbank Spurs yona ke iqiniseke lapha na ke kakhulu esiswini la kunabadlali ke abahlanu okumangazayo nang lapha na ke igoal scorer yabo kodwa ke kuyona la le lineup ulapha ku right back position ke umfoka Gamede. Kanti ke nampa ke abadlali la abakhona na uJames Madidilane ke insizwa isadlala kanti ke masibheka ngapha kuSpurs sibheka lapha uRalph Matema wakwaba lapha na ke encwadini zayo ke iOrlando Pirates.
The Argentinian Rodolfo Zapata, having signed a 6-month contract with the Mpumalanga Black Aces, in charge of the side, sunglasses, shades, jewelry, and an unbuttoned shirt. He's a cool cat, but he's also only suffered one loss at the helm in charge of this side. Well, co-coaches for Witbank Spurs, Bonga Mofokeng, as he's more commonly known, rather than Tuso Mofokeng, former People's Bank Spurs striker. He was with him when they were promoted from the 2nd to the 1st division. What was it now, 7 odd years ago? Referee Kongo gets this match underway. It is Witbank Spurs, the visiting team, in orange, bright orange indeed, playing from right to left of your screen for this opening half. And immediately Mkalipa, the former Platinum Stars man, working a ball in from that far side. Another former Platinum Stars player, Edward Williams, for a good couple of seasons. Joseph Mkalipa's teammate. On opposition sides this afternoon. Siso Mbunane works the ball out to that far side. Tabarroy playing alongside him, while Tloli Temba is the starting right back. Roy looks to bring the ball near side. Little touch from Kalipa in the middle of the park now, controlled by Maluleke. to Xoli Temba. Now, although the under-23 rule has been scrapped for the NEDBANK Cup, where the logic is that the national first division sides might be at somewhat of a disadvantage, as the Argentinian Nicolas Guindre picks up. He's in goal for Aces today, rather than the talented young former Supersport United keeper Sherwin Nyker. But the under-23 rule scrapped for today's game, with the NEDBANK Cup as the tournament, not wanting to disadvantage any of the first division players against the PSL teams or Vodacom League teams in any way. So you can play any of the players available in their squad, regardless of age. As such, Aces going for the old guard. They've got 6 players in the squad who are 30 or older this year, whereas Witbank Spurs are playing with 5 under-23 players still. They believe in their young guard and believe they can do the job. Looking for the ball forwards, Fiso Nzimande, he's only 19. And he and Temba, 20, the left and right back, have the brightly coloured peroxided strip. Muketi Tsotetsi, a man who formerly represented his country, played in one FIFA and African Cup of Nations qualifier back in 2008 for South Africa. Long ball by Nzimande. Guindre thought about it, came and stopped. And nodded away by Mpumalanga. The player formerly represented South Africa. Taken quickly though. Out of screen. So a corner taken short, not really making use of it. Spurs have been a side that have played one-touch football under the guidance of Bonga Mofokeng and Puti Mohafe. Co-coaches, having started the season though with Conte Kubeka, who only brought 1 win to Spurs, disappointingly. The Aces travelling fans, regardless of whether or not the home base is in Malahleni, it's a club with a rich heritage in South African football, and certainly a club that has a great record in the NEDBANK Cup. Decent ball into the near side, should be dealt with by the keeper. No stress for young Msiza, who celebrates his 22nd birthday next week, Wednesday. Plucks it out of the air. And Spurs, despite their attractive football that they've been playing, as coach Mohafe summed up to Deshi Baktawa going into the start of the game, we've been playing pretty football, nice football, but not winning football. I'm hoping that will change today. Offside. Manuel Desani with a flag raised, and Gamere, the first player to be caught offside. Tsotetsi running flat. Pushing high. He was on loan at Vasco da Gama last season, but unfortunately could not help the side avoid the drop back down in the National First Division. As Western Cape last year, bear in mind, only had 1 team in the National First Division, but with the promotion of Chippa United and the relegation of Vasco da Gama, 3 campaigning this season. You see Cape Town the other side. Guindre picks it up, bowls it out to the near side. It'll be comfortably picked up by Felix Mwamba Musasa, a man who's played for 2 former African champions in his long professional career. Now approaching his 30th birthday. TP Mazembe and Orlando Pirates player. Pushing and shoving going on the far side. One of the Bayiwa twins under pressure from David Conamer. Another man who's claimed league titles with a host of different clubs. Chiefs, Sundowns, Supersport United. Temba. There's the long diagonal ball, but far too long. In the high felt air, that ball just travels, sails over the head of Joseph Nkalipa. Felix Sasa tried the long ball, but again, this time it's won back by Spurs, who are playing decent one-touch football at the moment, it seems. Mpumalanga getting into a dangerous position. Sasa nodding the ball out towards the corner flag. Early quarter. Challenge appeals, but waved away by the referee from the Eastern Cape, and corner meanwhile will be taken. Now Kalipa, capable of using both feet, no problem. Trying to send the ball in square, but no orange jersey waiting for it. Eventually cleared by the Aces defence, and a mistake on that far side, nearly gifting Spurs the possession. There's Isabate. The error, and an ambitious shot from the far side. So we've already had one match decided in the NEDBANK Cup of 2012. Last night's extra time victory for Maritzburg United over Bloemfontein Celtic at the Harry Gwala Stadium. Match being played concurrent to the South African Warriors and Jomo Cosmos are playing in the Free State, while at 6 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock, not at 8:15, as many places have advertised. We'll have Lamontville Golden Arrows, Abafana Best Tender, hosting Northwest Shining Stars. They'll be taking on the Vodacom League team and at the Princess Magogo Stadium, while later this evening at 8:15, all eyes on FNB Stadium, where Kaizer Chiefs will be taking on Cape Town All-Stars. Tomorrow, Maritzburg United, Supersport United and Sundowns are the big teams in action. They're both away from home. You can catch the match between Batao and Supersport United from Ermelo on SABC1. Now, down that far side flank, decent touches from the Zambian international, Linika Mwigiza. Kanamea gets involved, but possession won back for a moment by one of the Zimbabwean twins, Peter, the younger one, by only a handful of minutes. Edward Williams. He scored a stunner the last time these sides met. They met in the league in a match that was rather dull. Certainly didn't have any fast-flowing football. Two very static sides playing against one another. It took a moment of brilliance from Edward Williams, who smashed the ball from 30-odd metres out over the keeper. Young Riaz Msiza, and in off the underside of the crossbar. Certainly one of the more powerful goals I've seen in recent years. Here's Nkalipa again. Watch the combination play of Dr. Skusana and Wiseman Maluleke. Another offside call against Gamede. Musani Gamede scored in that 2-0 victory over Vasco da Gama, but he's got 3 goals so far this season. 2 of them have come in the last couple of matches, so there's a man seemingly on form and one to watch out for in today's encounter. But overall, the general threats from Witbank Spurs are the 2 Zimbabwean brothers, former Munamatapa. Peter and Patrick Mubayiwa. Running fast and furious. Maluleke, little touch from Mubayiwa. Patrick tried to pick out Gamede, not to be. Here's Nkalipa, now to Maluleke again. Maluleke, space building up, tried the shot and curling away rather than into Ginre's goal. So safely across. Far too much space gifted to Maluleke, nobody closing him down, and very disappointing defensive work from this Black Aces squad, allowing Maluleke a host of options. Could have picked out any player to pass to or take a shot himself. In the end, a shot from the Siavuta star, disappointingly wide. So 10 minutes gone in this NEDBANK Cup round of 32 encounter. It's Mpumalanga Black Aces against Witbank Spurs, and goalless it remains here at Rand Stadium.
Iyona ngempela last 32 kudlalwa ke eRand Stadium, kodwa ke amaqembu omabili ase eMpumalanga lapha eMalahleni, iMpumalanga Black Aces ne Witbank Spurs. Also kuyona ke ikhaya labo okwamanje njengoba sibona ke David Kanamea sehambile ke amaqembu eKhanemeya ongokudabuka eKapa. Goalkeeper Nicholas Jindre usayinwe ukufika la eNingizimu Afrika nguNel Tovey emsayinela amaZulu, kodwa ke wagcina ke iklabhini la uNel Tovey ake yathi kobamba kuyo Aces akangahlala. Umdlalo ke seloqalile first 10 minutes Witbank Spurs iyona yebo esathanda ukuthi ke ibhola bawuthathe ke umdlalo bawuseke lapha kuyona Mpumalanga Black Aces. Free kick yayo Aces bagibele uKoketso Butong kushuthi ke la Aces ikhombisa ukuzimisela ngendlela mawungabona ukuthi ke bahlule iqembu le lapha na ke ku-Absa Premiership bamsayina uKoketso ekade ke ethe ufuna ukuyakusoloza. Sibonekela i-free kick yakhe David Khanemeya, ngethemba bese kukhona oye waba kuyona i-offside position. Nompempe ke insizwa yase eMthatha Khula Sande Qoqo, omanye ke onompempe abasebancane na kamadoda nje mabili yebo aku-offside position e-Aces. Umehluko ke kulamaqembu ke uma ubheka ke kwi-experience Aces iphethe ngempela nanginjalo Edward Williams zomkhumbula ku-Platinum Stars naku-Super Sport, iphethe nje zonke igwaze endala. Angazi ke noma zise angikholwa ukuthi ke Aces bathatha ukuthi ke bazoba sepensionini la, ibathathela ukuthi ke bayithathe bayifake noma bayibuyisele ku-Absa Premiership njengoba sibabona namhlanje bedlala ke ku-NEDBANK Cup kuyona eRand Stadium. Asibonekela ibhola ngaselibeni ingozi bekuyena laphana ke ubezamile la insizwa Ramulonde uyena ke obekuzama naye insizwa ke engaqala ukufika nale bhola ke ugoalkeeper angikholwa ukuthi belibone phela ubeyozwa nje laphana ke kunjengoba phela akunabafana abancane lapha emva kwakhe, uma bekhona beyozwa ngabathi hayi bhuti nale nto kanjeni. Tabang laba Roy umnyaka obadlali la okwadlala naqala kwe-Aces wasuka ke esiya ke kuyona amakhosi wathi abuyela akangahlala useku-Witbank Spurs omakhelwane beMpumalanga Black Aces. Umncintiswano ke lo ewazi kahle iMpumalanga Black Aces akafika nakuona laphana ke ama-finals, kodwa ke namhlanje ibhekene nabantu abazanayo amaqembu ke la kuyona ke i-first division okungawahambeli neze neze kahle ngoba i-Aces ku-number 11 laba abanye hey kubi kakhulu ngoba balapha na ke ngabesibili nje kusuka emsileni egejeni la imbazi izogenqa khona ngempela. Asiboneke lapho nazi i-triple goalkeeper sebenza Bryce Msisa, ithuba lokuqala lokushaya ke igoli walilekile phana uMuthisa. Lokuqala nje ithuba ngempela engabe sesikhuluma ukuthi siyabala sithi 1-0 liwela la iMpumalanga Black Aces ephumile ngempela laphana uMakisi wathi qekelele kuyipass enhle kakhulu goalkeeper wawenza ke lapha umsebenzi wakhe ngempela. Ubani ke uke wamsikaza ngabe umbulele lapha ugoalkeeper uLineka. Insizwa ke umqeqeshi Dudolf Zapata suka yonke indlela Argentina. Lucas Tlomelang ulapha ke phansi captain yeqembu leli leMpumalanga Black Aces. No goalkeeper ke noma engekho la kwi-picture yakho ugoalkeeper usho limshaye kabi la ngempela eswini ball. Nangu ugoalkeeper ke uBryce Msisa umfana nje una 21 uzothi ke phakathi neviki abe na 22 years. Bryce Msiza umfana ke usuka lapha ku Vodacom League wakwaba nakhona ke kulapha ke kwi Pirates Development Side njoba ke eseku Witbank Spurs. I-Witbank Spurs ke inomdlelwano ikakhulu nazo ke ezimnyama uzokhumbula ke uRoy Mahamutsa olapha kuyona i-Orlando Pirates. Sibonela ukuthi ke kwenzeke la uGamede ucashile nje lapha uGamede umdlalo ungakasuki nangoke la uLucas Hlomelanga insizwa lesithemba ukuthi ke uzobuya aqhubeke nomdlalo. Umfana izinto ezikeza ngamhambela kahle. Umfana ke yazi nawe indoda uke wavelelwa waba khona amaphutho ke wawenza kodwa mawuvukile wabuya wasithatha kuyakhombisa ukuthi ke uyindoda yamadoda. Kunjalo ke la ku Lucas Hlomelanga. Kanti ke omunye ke umdlalo akuhambi kahle ke la kwezenkosi okwamanje kodwa ngoba nakhona umdlalo uqeda nje ukusuka la khamba khona phambili ke iAfrican Warriors go 1-0 la bedlala lapha neJomo Cosmos eCharles Mopedi Stadium. Oh, nansi indoda igeja kuzokhumuka lapha umlenze indoda ikora ngenhliziyo nanso ke ishot ka Dr Skhosana umfana nje okwaba usuka okhulele khona la Witbank kodwa ke ukwaya nalapha na ku Tekis wakhumuka umlenze. Nansi ke i-goal kick Nicholas Junre. Angazi ke uNompepe lento kusho ukuthi ke kuthiwa ukhona akwenzile kuyona uLineka Muikisa nangla usilaphana ke angazi ke bakribhene ke abafana kodwa ke unenhlanhla la Xoli Themba naloke ushintsho kusho ukuthi uLucas Hlomelanga akabuyi ke manje kungena laphana ke umzwanele Mahashe uyena ke la ongenayo endaweni ke ka kapteni uLucas Hlomelanga. Yazi ke kubhlungu umdlalo kapheli no 20 minutes kulaphana ke sekune force change ukuthi ephoqeke coach ukuthi ke makayenze emva kokulimala komdlali ke okubuye kubenzima ke kulimala ka captain wakho. Asazi ukuthi ke kuzoyibeka kuphi iMpumalanga Black Aces kodwa baningi abadlali abane experience kuMpumalanga Black Aces akufanele kasibona uDennis Masina ongomunye owabadlali la SuperSport Orlando Pirates ongamlungela sibonela uKoketso Mudong ithanda ke manje ukusebenza yona lapha iAces kodwa ibhola labo lagcina ngakho ukonakala liku goalkeeper Bryce Msiza mfana nje semncane kabi 21 years lo kodwa ukhombisa ke ukuba nesibindi Thabang Roy wansizwa lena ke buhle uThabang uhlupha nje ke ihlushwa ispeed ke esilapha ngicabanga ukuthi ke esingekho kahle hle lapha kule position ayidlala sibona ke la iAces ukuthi kukhona yini ebangakwenza ku offside ke la insizwa Walter Ramulonde kanti ke iphelile ke manje la 20 minutes 9 doti kancane iphuma nje kancane kanti ke lapha ikhona ke insizwa lapha emva ka 20 minutes dash back tower.
Okay, I'm with Lucas Hlomelanga. Lucas, what exactly happened?
As I was trying to tackle a Spurs player, I went all out, so I pulled the muscle. So I make the warm up right, but I don't know what happened. You know, I don't know. I went all out for the tackle there, so I think I hurt myself here. You see.
Lucas, thank you very much. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
Certainly had a bad run of late in terms of poor luck, as Lucas Hlomelanga to mention. the doping ban, which he only managed to return from 3 months ago, only eligible to play again at the end of November last year. He really started to get back into playing matches in recent times and was trying to find a run of form. Picked up a head injury against the University of Pretoria a couple of weeks ago, was playing with that head guard today because of the stitches still in the scalp. But he's a man who's been around for the longest time, and he will be sorely missed on the park by Aces, no doubt. He's one of the elder statesmen who actually paid tribute to Thabang Libesi, the late Thabang Libesi, last week as well. And alongside Thabang Roy, for a moment was on the ball for the opposition today. Played in that 2008 final against Mamelodi Sundowns, which was decided by Lerato Chabangu. 2008, Aces having made that magnificent run. Kamambo Musasa, the main danger man that year, but Isantrini was playing well for them. Roy and Gilbert, part of a magnificent defence. Mpumalanga formed part of it. Skosana, former Amatux player, currently lead the National First Division standings to the University of Pretoria, and looking to gain direct promotion, but their 22-match unbeaten run came to a rather an abrupt end just 10 days ago when they lost out to Chippa United of the Western Cape. So Temba on that far side just tracks back to his position at right back. He'll be hoping to continue combining with Peter Mbaiwa on that far side. Mbaiwa twins turning 27 at the end of the month. Patrick is older than Peter by a matter of minutes. Diminutive players they are, not very tall, but they are tireless workers. They can run all day. Near side, speaking of players that can run all day, it's a Mudong, another player who's spent a great deal of time in the PSL. Just to get things going. The young Black Aces fans, despite relegation last season, still have a very devout following. Owing to the history of the club, no doubt. Good little piece of work by Kanamayor on the far side. Mpumalanga's replacement, Marsha, stands over it. 25-year-old. He actually played in the start of the league game the last time these teams met at the Nakabal Stadium in Emalahleni, where Black Aces managed a 1-0 victory. It was their league game back in October last year. At the time, it was only the second win for Black Aces of the season. Looking to go long, this time Bonane, but he's only picked out the opposition keeper. Gindre happy to take control and try to marshal his defence. It's going to be all the more aware and astute now with the absence of his captain. They've lost the leadership, and other players who've been wearing the captain's armband, the likes of Moran Bantam, suspended for today's match. So Aces needing to look towards the experience and leadership of players like Edward Williams, like Felix Mwamba Musasa, to guide them now. Mudong still using his pace despite his aging years. So 25 minutes gone, Black Aces 0, Spurs 0, and if you are an Orlando Pirates fan, you will be very interested to know that the SABC will be broadcasting the match between Orlando Pirates and Recreativo de Lebolo, the Angolan side that they lost to at home in the first round of their CAF Champions League preliminary fixture. Broadcasting the return leg from Angola at 4 o'clock on SABC 2. So a chance to see if Orlando Pirates can turn around a 2-goal deficit. And more important for Orlando Pirates is not only to score 3 goals at least to have any chance of advancing. It's 3 away goals they need to contend with. Punched away. They did, however, manage to prove against Platinum Stars that they are capable of scoring 3 or more goals. 4-3 victory that they managed in the league. But back at hand, Kamere looks to turn and shoot for Witbank Spurs. Not quite working out as Patrick Mpumalanga looked dangerous again. He also scored in the last game, the victory over Vasco da Gama, who find themselves near the top of the National First Division standings in an ambitious effort from Temba, just sails over the crossbar of Nicholas Gindre. Temba had time, tried to pick his spot, and it's the second time in the match he's actually done it, and I suspect the reason he might be trying to chip the keeper from a long way out is the fact that the goal that Patrick Mpumalanga scored in the match against Vasco da Gama came from 45 odd meters out, just over the halfway line. He managed to chip the Vasco keeper. You see a keeper off his line. Sometimes he might get a little ambitious and go for it, and why not? Some of the biggest names in goalkeeping have been lobbed from that sort of range. Mpumalanga back inside, lovely touches, little frantic footwork happening by Dr. Skosana. Combines wonderfully with Mpumalanga, but this time forced to go back to his defensive line. Picked up now by Patrick Mpumalanga. Far side, here's Temba. Mpumalanga. Trying to pick out Kalipa. It's come near side. Quick little player is young Zimande. Chip to that far side. Space opening up again. Great opportunity to have a cracker, this time down low. Not the most difficult effort to save from Nicholas Gindre, but all it needed was the shot to be spilled, and Dumisani Kamere was there waiting. The effort from Mpumalanga, powerful, on target, but from that sort of effort allowed Gindre enough time to predict the trajectory and get down nice and low. Skosana back to Roy. And last time these sides met, of course, in the NEDBANK Cup was last year's 4-3 fixture. Mpumalanga, still playing for the side at the time, managed to score a hat-trick on the day. He's now at Morocco Swallows. Regular substitute appearances off the bench for Gordon Iggeson's men, but they're one of the few teams with all PSL ties in the NEDBANK Cup. Against Wits in their round of 32 clash. And Spurs look dangerous again, look threatening, look for the little run. Mahashe couldn't do much against Mpumalanga's run. Peter Mpumalanga looks for Kamere, but nodded away confidently by Tsotetse. Spurs still in possession, trying again the quick footwork. Singno tries to inspire a counter-attack. On that far side now, Lineker Mwigesa, Zambian international, looking for a way through toward the back post, and a little too strong. Ball still alive, and Spurs should deal comfortably with this. To Kalipa on the near side. I can tell you that Wiseman Mpumalanga has remained down just outside Nicholas Gindre's goal area. So the injured player just being seen to now, out of screen. There we go. Referee Konmo is just standing over Mpumalanga, just having a little inspection of the type of injury. Looks like stretch is going to be required. And certainly for the match's sake, you would hope that it's not going to be the second substitution that is required in this match. Injury enforced. Mpumalanga already off for aces. And Mahashe, the man who replaced him, the man who stepped on the ankle of the young Wiseman Maluleke. So 20-year-olds getting stretched off, and time now to head down to Deshi Bakhtawa. Goalless it is, Deshi, and interesting tactic that Spurs are trying to employ. We've seen a couple of times they're trying to lob the keeper. Ginro seems to wander to the edge of his 6-yard area and perhaps even out of it at times. They've scored like that before, but is it the right sort of tactic for a cup match like this?
I think you've touched on a really good point, and basically their attempts have been from sometimes close to the halfway line. So they just seem to lack a few ideas in that last third in the big box of aces, and maybe that's what they could be working on and discussing. For me, Spurs, though, it must be said, it's clear they're not going to sit back and be dictated to by aces. For aces, of course, Messina, one feels he can be a little bit more influential. He created a great opportunity for them, but still not as influential as he can be.
Kumdlalo lo onzima ngempela ke kulamaqembu omabili amaqembu ke omabili ke awomkhaya lapha ke eMpumalanga. Kodwa ke kuze ke kube manje emva ka 30 minutes alikho ke igoli njengoba sibona lapha Sibusiso Mbonani mfana naye abamthathe ke ku Vodacom League. Oh, nali ibhola ke elingaseke libe ufuna ubahudula bonke. Hey, likofanele ukuthi ke ibheke abambheke lo muntu lona ke walapha ke eZambia uthanda ke ukuba inkosanyana. Ngempela Mwikisa bazama ukubahudula nje bonke amadoda ashayisana. Hey, inayipi ikhona ibalance kulomlisi. Bengithi uzowa kodwa ke akawanga. Khona ye-Ashes Dennis Mashena uyena oshaya ke ikhona. Sibona ke bekhuphuka noMukiti ulinda uMukiti Tsotetsi ukuthi angene eboxini lapha uDennis Mashina asibonekela lelibhola kodwa ke yakhipha Witbank Spurs. Asibona ukuthi kodwa ke iyesizi ibuyile ke baningi manje, akusekho ukuthi ke bangabreaka kalula abayo ke Witbank Spurs. Asibheke ke ibhola lalinsizwa bekuyona lapha uMuwayiwa omunye ke wamawelela amabili akhona asuka eZimbabwe adlala Witbank Spurs. Khona uPeter noPatrick. Koketso Mutom Dennis Masina bamuyisa uDennis Masina ujajile ke la uNompempe uqonqo beselkhiphe kudala le bhola uDennis Masina. Sibone ke ngale Walter Ramulondi ukuthi amadoda amabili amgadile yazafika ke lapha ke usizo kuyena uRamulondi David Kanemeya. Oh, laseliphunyukile ke ibhola ayasiwa indoda yavele nje yavuma phansi le ndoda yakwandimande ngathi ke yakwaGamede indoda angazi ke kusho bayazana, angazi bebedidana bodwa. I-line up bekunikezwe yona bekukuthi ke udlale right back la uGamede, kusho ukuthi ke bebelahlisa nje ke bedukisa umkhondo abayo Mpumalanga Black Aces. Uthi ke uno lapha uqonqo ibhola kufanele una uliphosa ngathi liyakusinda uphosa imbhokodo. Zikho ke senzophosa ke manje ngabe Witbank Spurs. Onando futhi ke la ibhola belilahle bona ke liqobo, kodwa ke uThabang Roy wasebenzisa ke i-experience yakhe nangla Wiseman Maluleke okwalimala Wiseman ezama nje ukulifaka ngela ukuthi shanje Wiseman ibhola, kodwa ke dale ke manje i-throw in yayo i-Witbank Spurs. Sifiso Zimande yona i-love back yes Spurs. Nange futhi laphana uPeter Mwayiwa ngaseke libe ingozi ke leli. Oh, hayi lale kancane ubembonile ugoalkeeper ubuhlakani obebenzile insizwa Muwayiwa insizwa ke isuka lapha eHarare Zimbabwe ikhombise ukuhlakanipha ngoba imbonile ugoalkeeper uthi uyeza yasithi zama nje ukuthi ibhola iyalichipha kwasho ukuthi walishaya kakhulu indoda ayangakwazi ukulaphana ke ukuthi alaphana ke alikale kahle ibhola kodwa ukhombise ivision yokuthi uyabona ukuthi nangi lo ndoda uyeza awuthi ngibeqisele le bhola. Free kick ya Witbank Spurs. Bakhuza lapha ukapteni kodwa uyena nje abebe mkhahlele unokodwa ke uyena ohlawulisiwe asibone la ibhola kodwa ke iyala lapha esinangu Edward Williams. Edward Williams ke bambheke laba be Witbank Spurs me lapha ku 45 yards ushaya ezinye imbumbulu uma bengamkhohlwa Basop David Kanemeya ukwazile ukulithola lingakaphumeli ngaphandle kodwa wasemoshaka uDavid Kanemeya. Sikhumbuze nje nina bendlamandla ukuthi lapha ke ngehora lesine bazokhumbula ke abathanda Orlando Pirates neningizimu Afrika nje yonke ngoba phela lapha ku Champions League ayizimele nje yodwa Orlando Pirates isimele ke sonke la eningizimu Afrika kuzothi ke lapha ngehora lesine umdlalo wabo ube lapha ku SABC 2. Asazi ke inhliziyo ziphethwe ngezandla baphethwe ngezandla 3-1 akusithi ukudlala kodwa ke singabuye ezimnyama akekho owayelindele ukuthi Orlando Pirates yofika iwine umncintiswano lapha eCote d'Ivoire la yayodlala khona neASEC Mimosa kade iscore siphele kungu 2-2 la eningizimu Afrika wafika uJerry Skhosana wakwenza lokho ingakwenza namhlanje siyethemba. Tabangroy uthatha ke sakhe isikhathi ukubheka ukuthi le bhola uzolibeka kuphi ke uTabangroy usala lapha ku D-line kodwa ke i-backline David Kanemeya nangu ke ubathathelile ke manje uWalter Ramlondi ibhola Dennis Mashina naye lensiza inkinga yenyana yaseZimbabwe ngathi ke yaseZambia wasibonekela ibhola bebe phasi wasikhamuka support enhle la eyenziwe ke nguTabangroy ngoba ibingakhona la ingozi washuthi ke waqhamuka ngemuva wabona le bhola ngase libe ingozi nasingabukela umuntu oyedwa nansi ke bebezama nje ipassing yabo abe Witbank Spurs sibone ke i-back pass le uJindre ke angeke ayibambe ibhola belinikeze ngumukiti Tsotetsi. Mawubheka nje experience yale ya backline ye Mpumalanga Black Aces ngempela uma bedlala nelinye iqembu layo ke i-first division ubone nje ugoalkeeper nayo sekwadlala ku PSL uJindre Felix Musasa Mokiti Tsotetsi uphumile ke Lucas Tlhomelanga wangena ke insizwa lapha ke uMahashe David Kanemeya abantu nje abadala laba okudala ngempela bedonsa la ebholeni lapha ke elikhokhelayo abalapha emuva kodwa ke phela bathi ke ngoba mangobheka balapha ku number 11 kwi league enama team angu 16 ukuthi ke Aces ithe nayibasayina yabajethi bafike benzeni njengoba beku number 11 kuthanda ukuba nzima manyana kodwa ke phela kunzima ukwakha i-team ngoba uzokhumbula ukuthi Aces ngesikhathi seku-PSL abadlali abaningi bayibahamba uzokhumbula uMathebula kuSwallows noma Khanya babekhona bebaningi nje base behamba ke i-team ehlanganiswe kabusha le ye-Aces ikhona mhlawumbe kwenza ukuthi ke kungakabi babe lapha ku number 11 Koketso naye ujoyine kuwo lonyaka ngoJanuary bapha ibhola lonakeleke manje ngase kwenzeke lapha umalule kodwa ukuthi uqhamazeliswa yini uye kuyena phela waziyo Wiseman Maluleke uye nje lapha ke waqhamazelwa washeshe washaya ulibamba kufanele ikhanda ingenzani ke la i-Aces Lokuyena lapha uhlabathe kodwa ke Thabang Roy umsebenzi wakhe la uma bemiyeka aswiphe kanje uThabang Roy i-ACs izozithola ithola ubunzima. Musasa Felix kanti ke iphelile ke manje i-40 minutes esomeni sokuqala sithele nje 5 minutes nje kuphela angazi Deshi Baktawa.
Well, both into wide areas, and they've maybe that's one of the options they both sides could start looking at half-time. Get the wide man forward and get a few crosses into the opposition's box.
Both sides will be wanting to do that, but Aces are certainly a side that can break into Spurs' 18-yard area. Great opportunity here, and eventually gifted an earlier chance, not able to put it away. Lives up to his name, does Linika Mwigisa, and like the former England striker, puts it away. Silences the crowd. It's only his second goal of the season, but Aces have opened the scoring just before the half-time break. 3 minutes to go. Linika Mwigisa makes it 1-0 to Aces. The side much favoured to go on in advance to the last 16 from this fixture. In the end, though, Thabang Roy, a slight little touch. Sbusiso Mbunani unable to gather from the deflection. And all Mwigisa needed to do was pick his spot. This time he did so. A hapless goalkeeper, unable to charge down the angle, unable to prevent the effort from finding the back of the net. And if he'd missed from there, he would have been called all sorts of names by his teammates. Golden opportunity missed out earlier. He won't do it twice in the match. The Zambian scores, Aces lead. We finally have a goal at the Rand Stadium. So 41.5 minutes had gone by before Linika Mwigisa bulged the back of the Spurs net. His finishing not always reminiscent of Gary Lineker. Days at Barcelona, his days at Tottenham Hotspur in particular. And I think he did start his career at Leicester City, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly started his England career in the mid-80s. Great chance for Aces to take a 2-goal advantage, and not snatched by Mungezi Hlabate, a 22-year-old who signed from Wits. He's the only under-23 player in the starting lineup today. The 4 of the regular under-23 starters for Black Aces find themselves on the bench for that man's side. Rodolfo Zapata. He's a big Barcelona fan, is the Argentinian. Kalipa. Now playing catch-up football are Spurs, a side that's been unable to really break into the 18-yard area of Mpumalanga Black Aces, with the defence that stood firm. The likes of Tsotetse, Mambo Musasa, who regular figures in the PSL in seasons gone by, and of course David Conway, a multiple league winner with various teams, including Chiefs, Sundowns and Supersport United. So a particularly experienced Aces back four, even if it isn't the youngest back four you've ever seen. Dennis Messina, Swaziland International, look to work it away. Again, thinking of the long-range effort, and this time the long-range effort is good enough to earn the corner. So into the final minutes before we hit added time. In the fourth corner of the game. Spurs have 3 of them. It's that far side now. For a decent delivery, it's come toward the back post. Galipa has nodded it back into play, but it's high and should be dealt with by the keeper. And Gindra, unconvincing, punches it away to the near side. Throw-in taken quickly. Galipa again looks for the cross toward the back post. Inside that 18-yard area. Long-range effort was always on the cards and off the side of the boot. So 2 minutes of time has been added on as we hit the 45. And between Maluleka and Skosana, really missing these long-range efforts. I would expect a little better for Spurs. They've been knocking the ball around nicely, but have not been able to hit the target. They really need to start testing Gindre in goal. Bunane taking his time about clearing the ball upfield. It's been closed down by Masina and Kuketsu Mutung, who, despite their age, are still remarkably quick. Mutung now approaching his 33rd birthday. A man with a long career. Platinum Stars, Mamelodi Sundowns player, had a loan spell at Swallows last season under Egerson. Sotetsi back to Gindre. Came to South Africa to join AmaZulu while Neil Tovey was in charge. He had formerly played in England in the lower tiers, but he did play for Wimbledon before coming to AmaZulu. Masina wins it back. Snapshot from the Swazi international, but just pulled the effort a little. Former Pirates man. Looking to get into a dangerous position and managed to win possession away despite the furious attention of Patrick Muwaiwa. Turned on his man and produced the shot. Now produces a lovely through ball as well. Just a little too strong. Siza had to time his run outside his area. Tabang Roy standing firm. He's had a very strong game so far as Tabang Roy. Despite his best efforts, unable to prevent the opening goal from going the way of Black Aces, courtesy of a man who's won a couple of caps for his country before, but was unable to make the Zambian squad for the Africa Cup of Nations, where they emerged as African champions. But Lineke Mwigisa's goal, the difference between the sides at the break, as Kusani Kongo of Mtata signals the end of an opening 45, which has only seen the one goal being scored. Now a little thinking caps need to be used by Witbank Spurs. Siavuta have got a little worrying to do and try to work out a plan to push forward to get inside the 18-yard area of Mpumalanga Black Aces, and of course to find at least a levelling goal or perhaps more in this game. But after 45 minutes in this 2012 NEDBANK Cup round of 32 tie, it's Mpumalanga Black Aces 1, Witbank Spurs 0. So in an opening half which has seen Spurs dominate the number of shots at goal, but by and large those have travelled high and wide. They dominate possession but not by a great deal, but only once have they managed a shot in on target. That was Malulega's effort, which was rather tame in the end when you consider how far out of the 18-yard area it came. No problem for Gindre, but of the two shots on target, both from Mwigisa, one of them found the back of the net, and that's the difference between the sides now.
The Premier Soccer League presents the NEDBANK Cup. Dynamic, exhilarating. The NEDBANK Cup. Gion. The NEDBANK Cup. The one.
Okay, sure.
Baba, I'll let you the studio list.
Yeah? Yeah. Roll them. Okay. I think there was a highlight that we called before that. Ace's attempt. Okay, sure. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, that's that 1-2 that went up. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sharp. So we talk over them, right? Sure. Where do you want us? Push up. Push up. We run when? We run speaking. Speaking we run.
When I found out to see it, you were right. You were right, Benjamin. You were right, speed.
Sharp. Give him the shades. Mofedi shades. Time score at the Rand Stadium. Mpumalanga Black Aces leading by a 1-0 against Witbank Spurs. David, it's a game that we expected a lot of goals, but missed opportunities, and most of them just not even close to the goal. So Black Aces, though, have taken their chances. They are leading by a 1-0. They have been the better side in the first 45.
Yeah, you would say that. I expected a running game from a Spurs perspective. They promised that they are going to come out of the starting block and really attack the opposition. But when you look at it, you would think that they should have done better. This is the one that should have been scored. I mean, one-on-one with the keeper, you expect that when a striker of Leneka's caliber, when he's there one-on-one with the keeper, he should get it into the back of the net, but he still failed to find the back of the net. Look at it, I mean, the keeper really did not give him an option. He closed the angle very well, which is something that Bryce has done very well. I mean, he comes from the Pirates development. He's been taught well as about goalkeeping is concerned.
You look at that, and you could see it was aces all the way. But you know, Spurs were not just lying down. They came in, had some chances. As I said, you know, they were not really capitalizing on those movements going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the three guys that play up front, the two in the midfield, the two Mubiuas and Wiseman Maduleka, they've been very active. Although, I mean, we've been lamenting the fact that the ball is kept more in a more of intricate passes